and off goes Hardy, and Hardy's through!
Hello and welcome to the GDD Coaching and Analysis channel. The Six Nations battle between the old enemies Wales and England wasn't short of a bit of drama, and it would be so easy to get distracted from the actual rugby. But in this video, I'm going to focus on answering two questions. Are Triple Crown winners Wales back to their best? And have England gone off the rails? Let's take a look. For me, England played some of their best attacking rugby that we've seen in a while, but a string of silly errors, and as we'll see, plenty of penalties, they struggled to get going. And a big part of this was a significantly improved defensive effort from Wales, which has taken a new identity under Gethin Jenkins. And this was particularly the case from kicks, with Wales box kicking on 18 occasions compared to only 8 from England. Now there's a separate video looking at the chase in more detail, but I want to just focus on the intent to get around the corner and link up. At this point, England have a 6v2 and are odds on to expose the space available. But just look at this work rate from Biggar and Sir Alun Jones to address the issue. And this is a really key feature of the new Welsh defence. They don't panic. Louis Rees-Zammit and George North hold their width and call numbers to fill inside. And from there, they move together across the field with an awareness of their inside shoulder. And this is a quality read from Rees-Zammit. He spots the May as the ball tucked in. So he steps in and uses his arm to block any possible offload to Slade while North finishes off the tackle. May gets penalised for an extra roll on the floor, which he's not allowed to do. And in reality, the Welsh defence didn't have to do too much early on due to repeated infringements. 14 in total from England, with Maro Itoje conceding 8 of them. Indeed, it was those early penalties that gave Wales the opportunity to score their first try. But there's more to this than Pascal Gauzet. The play starts with the Wales favourite, the 6+1 line-out, and a throw to the front, where Wales threw on 8 occasions out of their 17 line-outs. Now while this isn't the ideal target for Maul, Wales use this to their advantage by working with the English effort to spin them all towards touch, before then breaking through a weak edge. Now that kind of momentum is tough to stop legally, but it's also tough to remain balanced as the attacking team, and Ken Owens goes to ground around 10 metres from the try line. This close to the line, Wales focus on the short game. Notice Tipperick and Faletau working hard to reload, and a key detail here is winger Josh Adams recognising the need for support and joins the shape of 9, and that no numbers on back approach is a huge development in the Welsh play. Next, those players on the ground fold the corner, which helps preserve attacking width. But take note of this tactic of trapping tacklers on the ground. Firstly, Mako Vinopola, then in the next ruck is both Sinclair and Billy Vinopola. And when Wales decide to move the point of contact to George North, the Adams and Faletau tag team are on hand to make Farrell's life difficult, resulting in a penalty to Wales and an easy 3 points if they wished. Now what happens next is, well, contentious, and I'm only going to spend 23 seconds on it, which is the time from Gauzet stopping talking to Farrell to the moment he blew his whistle. There's no doubt that England should have been given more warning, and indeed clearer warning, that the time was going to be put back on. But you've got to be impressed with Biggar and Adams' awareness of the opportunity. After all, it's all about beating the game. And in fairness to May and Daly, they did react to the threat of Rees-Zammit on the left side, but both Ford and Watson aren't exactly in a rush to cover Adams on the right touchline. And Dan Biggar absolutely nails his kick to Adams, who even has the presence of mind to jump and catch, ensuring he's across the line onwards. The impact of some of the new players of the starting lineup can't be overstated, and both Kieran Hardy and Josh Adams were outstanding. Notice Hardy's awareness here of Tom Curry retreating, so he attacks that space and feeds Adams, who can kick with both feet, and but for Watson's excellent cover, this would have been a second try. But yet more indiscipline from Itoje gave Wales a golden attacking start, and yes, you guessed it, is 6+1 line-out. This is an area Wales have been innovating with all championship, and have used Tipperick, Navidi and Faletau to play scrum half, which means that Wales can drive, or they got the extra back, with Hardy in the back line, allowing Wales then to put Rees-Zammit further infield. But Johnny Hill reads this brilliantly, and Wales then simply focus on getting the ball to the edge, as that's the easiest way to reform their attack shape, and it also brings us to a massive development in the Wales attack plan. As was the case on multiple occasions, Biggar is at first receiver, with a forward on his inside to interest the inside defence, and he has got 2 forwards flat to each other with a back, this time Jonathan Davies as an extra option out the back. Also not Tipperick way out in the touchline, Faletau in the 50-metre line and Adam Beard just inside. So when Biggar hits the Sheriff aiming to split the defence and cause an underfold, Wales now have a clear corner to attack. And what a pass this is from Biggar. complemented beautifully by Beard's back-like square hip take and give to the rampaging Faletau. And this is the new Wales. It's as close to no numbers on back rugby as we've seen. Back on an edge, Wales are straight back into the same shape, with different players fulfilling the roles, and a different option to keep the defence guessing. This time using George North to set a 40 target, and a lovely 11 play, and a double pump that dreams are made of take the attack out to the 22-metre line. And even after multiple phases, Wales have the cohesion to try a nice variation on a 9 shape, with Navidi hitting Wyn Jones instead of Biggar, enabling Biggar to run a run around, but it's well defended by Billy Vunipola. Now it's time to put that prep to use. And Wales have North, Adams, Williams and Rees-Zammit ready to go, and again Adams uses his left boot to probe the space in behind the press. Now without getting distracted from all that quality rugby, was it a knock on? Now everybody will have a slightly different opinion, and apparently even Gauzet said he was wrong. But for me, the ball right now is still in his grasp, and then goes backwards. But I'm just glad that Liam Williams finished it off and that Sir Gauzet agrees. But it definitely isn't all doom and gloom for England. One of England's biggest strengths has been their aerial skills. You're forcing an error by putting Watson, Hill and Itoje into the catch space, resulting in a cracking attacking opportunity with a 15-metre line scrum. I'm a massive fan of deceptive strike plays, and here Watson starts behind the scrum before then becoming first receiver, which enables Ford to isolate North, which is exactly the aim of the play. But the fear of facing Rees-Zammit was just too much for Elliot Daly. But England's chance did come, and they were able to use that traditional strength of a driving maul to set up an attacking platform. Now this attack isn't exactly extravagant. It's simply about playing close to the gain line and forcing Wales to tackle in the hope that an underfold would create a weak edge, and that's exactly what happens. Proving that England forwards can handle too, Jamie George nails this take, hold and give to put Watson into space, whose fabulous footwork and balance saw him bring England right back into the game. In the second half, the theme of silly penalties for England continued, and that, coupled with fast thinking from Wales, saw Kieran Hardy score a beauty of a try, stretching the Welsh lead once more. Now when England did get front foot possession, they were at times undefendable, linking together 9 plays and centre-field screens, enabling the outside backs to stretch the Welsh defence. And although Wales will be happy with their cover defence, they've got to stay aware of the first threat, the ball. Here Ben Youngs plays a blinder in lifting, exaggerating the pass and selling Wyn Jones enough to create enough of a gap to bring the scores even. With the scores tied at 24-all and less than a quarter of the match left, the Welsh bench really made their mark, and this is what Sheedy can bring. He spots the white spacings between Cowan-Dickie and Mako and cleverly uses Navidi as his decoy, faking the pass, which sits Cowan-Dickie on his heels, and he's through. And indeed, he's got the skill to grub her through, but very nicely covered by Watson yet again. With the game still in the balance in the dying minutes, England continued to pepper the left touchline, with North again making outstanding cover tackle. And ironically, as England looked at their most comfortable on the ball, for players like Sheedy, that also makes them just too predictable. And he reacts to this 11 play perfectly, picking off Robson's pass. And that leaves us with just one more question. Who's fastest? Ready? Go. I think it's fair to conclude that Louis Rees-Zammit, who has his own dedicated video, so do check that one out, is by some way the winner of that race. So, have England gone off the rails? Well, no, I don't think so. But they do appear to be ignoring some vital signals, and on occasion seem to be reading from a different directions. And Wales, are they back to their best? For me, they're not far off. This is the most excited I felt about a Welsh team since 2012, and I can't wait to see what the next destination is. Thanks for watching. Please do leave me a comment below and indeed hit the like button, as that's what helps the channel grow. Until next time.